Hello friends, we have started a new topic which is a very important one also as far as the computer knowledge and computer networking is concerned, and we have covered the very few fundamental terminologies like what is the networking, again the different communication medium used in the networking, then the topology. Now today we are going to start a very not only important but the backbone of the networking. It is called the OSI model. OSI, rather, it's a OSI reference model of the computer networking. OSI. OSI is stand for OSI. Stand for Open System Interconnection. And this model was laid down by the ISO, International Standard Organization. Means the only the alphabets are just reversing the alphabet. We can have ISO. This model was proposed by ISO. It is a standard international standard organization. It is an institution which laid down the standards for the international level. In 1998, in somewhere it is 1976, but more exact one is the 1978 is the year in which this model was proposed. As already I told you that it is the backbone of the computer networking. That means all the guidelines, all the rules which are prevailing in the networking, computer networking, are being laid down in the reference model. This is called the reference model. I am time to time I am just using this word, the reference model. Reference model. What is the meaning of the reference model? Reference model. It is not a physical type of model. This model is just giving us the guidelines how to execute the computer networking communication and what are the different protocols used, because when we have the so many number of networking across the world, and uh, due to the certain limitations of that particular region, the language barrier, the different type of software used in that particular country or region, then what will be the uniformity of the rules which will be adopted by and accepted by all the uh, stakeholder? That is important. That's why a certain type of uniformity is required, and this particular OSI model was adopted for doing so. Again, it is also to be underlined that this reference model was not completely accepted. There was some changes. Why those changes was made, we will discuss on that. But the reference model is not that means if the certain modification is been made in this OSI model, then it is useless. No, the again the model which was adopted, either you have heard about the TCP/IP and all. These models were the basic fundamental were drawn with this OSI model. So it is a most important one. So no one can take it easily. It is the model which was ultimate, the origin of the giving the guidelines for the computer networking communication. So let's come. I have already developed a PowerPoint presentation for you, and with that you can get a very uh, priority based or a very impactful type of literature, because again it is a theoretical type of project, but when you are going to learn the computer networking terminologies, then it is must working as just a layman and doing the different type of technical uh, tasks. It is not important that you are a highly professional type of computer networking professional. Otherwise, this model is giving you the complete guidelines why this computer network is being how the computer network is networking is being conducting. Okay, as I already told you that this is a reference type of model, and there are some 10 terminologies which are I have already mentioned in my PowerPoint presentation. I will discuss it by one, and only then you will be uh, clear about the OSI model and its significance. As I told you, it is a reference model. This reference model was the open system interconnection model. The model was a network architecture. Network architecture means just like you have the uh, architecture of the building, architecture of the plan, and just like it is the architecture means this is there is a planning of the how the network will communicate with each other and suit the protocol. It will have the bundle of the protocols. Protocols means certain rules, certain guidelines which are to be adopted. There is a difference between the protocol and the product. This should be underlined always that the protocols are the rules, and following those rules, the ultimate things which is covered as a recovered as a physical thing, it is called product. So product and the protocols are one of the two complementary things for each other, but we are dealing here as only the protocols, not any particular product. Product means the softwares, the drivers, which will be covered in this topic. Only the protocols. It was developed by ISO in 1973. It is a framework for the international standard in the heterogeneous type of computer networking. And now the word is computer network, international standardization, all the terminologies are familiar, but the word important is the heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means across the globe, when the computers are interconnected and transferring the data and communicating with each other, there might be the possibility that one computer network is based on the Unix operating system, another is having the operating system as Windows, but may be possible that someone is also having a Mac operating system. Now there is not the uniformity of the operating system or the platform, and you, even though we have to communicate the in between these two type of networking. Then because the different type of platform, different type of operating system is having there, so many operating system are using in the world, and even though we have to communicate, so because these are network are based on the different type of thing, that's why we have given the terminology as heterogeneous heterogeneous computer networking architecture. So this was the meaning of the. Now you should know that this is not compulsory that all the computer based on the window environment will can communicate. They will be unable to communicate. The different platform, different operating system based computer network can also communicate with each other, and this is possible only due to the a model which was laid down by the ISO, and this is the main significance of the OSI reference model. I have already told you that the greatest function of the OSI model is system the data transfer between the disparate system. Disparate means again the same word as the different type of operating system are there. Disparity is there, and even though we have to communicate, this is that's the meaning of this thing. Again, I have already told you that this is not a physical model, but it is just a guidelines that application developer can use. Application developer means the any product, any software using the which are using in the network will follow the guidelines which were standardized, which were adopted by the international level. So means this is just not a physical type of any particular product. It is a bundle of the protocols. Again, before going to the second slide, I should give you the some brief architecture picture of this. There are 7 layers. 7 layers. The OSI reference model is divided in 7 layers. It is very important to have a 7 layer, but this was the again uh, drawback of this architecture. Why was it was a drawback? I will discuss 7 layers. It is also to be understand that which one is the first layer and which one is the last layer. And so we will discuss it, but at the time the top layer is the application layer. I am elaborating all the term on the board because at the giving the picture at a glance will not be suitable for you for clarifying all this terminology. So the another one is the session layer. Sorry, presentation layer. These layer are given by the OSI, but we will make a certain modification when we have a certain some other modified protocols. Then session layer is there. Again, the transport layer, network layer is there, data link layer, and ultimate last one is the physical layer. These all layers have the task of the data transferring is distributed in so many layers. Now, application will respond to presentation layer, its adjacent layer. Similarly, presentation layer will listen to the application layer, but at what time it will give the link to the uh, next layer, and at what time the presentation will communicate at the application layer. This is the important topic. So somewhere it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and somewhere it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will discuss all this. So somewhere the numbering start from the bottom side and somewhere it start from the top side. So this is the main concept which you have to learn, and this is the how I am just going to teach is that all the basic fundas in the computer networking course should be clear to each and every student, which is giving a important time to our video and giving us the uh, and having a very hopeful sight on our videos. So we are just dedicated. Our videos are dedicated to those persons which are very seriously taking our efforts and are getting benefit. So where the application layer is considered as the seventh layer and where the physical layer will be considered as the seventh layer, we will discuss on this. So this was the architecture, and similarly the other layers are also giving response to its adjacent layer. And again, there might be a situation when this lower layer is giving reference to its upper layer. So again, come to the this OSI layer, because all the computer network activities are divided in a number of layers, and each layer is having a unique particular task action which is performed by that layer, which is not being interfered by the another layer. When the task of one layer is completed, it is uh, handed over to the respective layer, either to the downside or to the upper side. So this was the main concept which we have discussed here. The OSI layer are having 7 layers. I already discussed the starting from the top side, the application layer, the presentation layer, and the session layer. The starting top 3 layers uh, are useful as the it's called the software layers, but somewhere it is also called the application layer. Application layer, because in the next modified version as a TCP/IP, it is called the application type of layer, combining all the presentation layer, session layer, and the application layer into the one bundle. It is called the application layer. The blow 4 layers are called the hardware type of layer. Hardware layer. I have already discussed. The OSI model has 7 layers divided into 2 groups. The top 3 layers define how the application within the end station will communicate to each other and to the end user. So how the application means the software part will communicate to each other. This is the this such type of handling was handled by the uh, applications layer, and all the 4 other layers in the bottom type layer will handle the hardware type of things. The hardware type of thing is how the different type of mechanism, how the different type of channeling, how different type of devices are used in the computer networking user. The bottom 4 layer define how the data is transmitted to end to end. Now there is a terminology end to end. As it is started, the OSI architecture is split into the 7 layers, the lowest to highest. Each layer uses the layer immediately below it and provide the service to the layer above it. I have already discussed about these terminologies, but as a literature one, I have given you this graph, and you can just have a um, screenshot for having your futuristic notes. In the same implementation, the layer may itself be composed as a sublayer. We are talking sublayers because there are some layers as a data link layer, which is also having further divided into 2 parts, but we will discuss it on later concept. So again, the 7 layers are different: physical layer, data link layer, the network layer, transport layer, and these 3 are the application layer. And last 4, the bottom 4 are the hardware type of layers. The end to end means what is the meaning of the end to end, and what is the meaning of the end user. This is end user means the communication between the ports only, the ports, the NIC port. When we are dealing with the communication in between computer of one a computer which is having an NIC card and the transmitting data to the B computer which having another NIC card, the transmission between the NIC card up to the NIC level is called the end to end. And when the user to user means when the computer, when the data, when the communication reaches to the respective softwares, respective applications, then it will ultimate having the end user or end application. So after receiving the data at the NIC is not completely get the communication completed. Again, there are certain boundaries, certain constraints are there which is to be handled, and that's why the application layer is there. I have given you the presentation. I have given a lot of time, and that's why in last 2 to 3 days we have not uh, uploaded any videos because we were working on this uh, beautiful type of presentation for your benefit. Whatever we have discussed in the board, application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, these 7 layers are there, will communicate to each other, and all the tasks are the communication task is divided in these 7 activities layers. Now, at the level of the application layer, at this particular juncture, I am taking is a first layer. I am just taking, but somewhere I will also take it as a last layer. But in this particular layer, the data is represented in file in form of file, print, messaging, and all these things, picture like that. This is the application type of layer. How the application take the data, behave on the data is handled at this particular layer. The form, the presentation layer, all the data encryption. If the data is being transported or the communicated in form of the certain encrypted form, then how that encryption and that again decryption was to be handled. This is the particular layer where such type of activity will be handled. Session layer is called the dialogue control. Dialogue means when the certain one is want to communicate with other, it is start a session and check for the readiness of the another computer. When the all the computers are ready in the mode, then only they can communicate, and they will send the our useful data, useful data network or the signal when both the computers are in the ready mode. So this type of communication before transmitting the data, before transmitting any particular file, have to be checked that this is the computers are in the readiness mode, and this readiness mode will be uh, and verified by the session layer. We will come on to this by one, and we will have a very deep discussion on this. Then again, end-to-end connection, I have already told you the transport layer is having, because already I have told you that these 4 layers are. So end-to-end connection means up to the level of the NIC level, the hardware. Because NIC layer is there, and again some protocols are being to be discussed over here. We will have a very deep understanding of that. But in this introductory class of the computer networking, because this is a lengthy process, and I am not going to complete it in 1 or 2 classes. It is a very important topic. I will just suggest you that you should have at least 4 to 5 classes on this topic. Only then you will be able to get a complete and the exact criteria, exact knowledge, exact you can say the entire knowledge about this particular, the complete knowledge about this in networking, computer networking. Now again, the network layer is having some devices deal with it. As you already told you that router, what is the meaning of router and what is the importance of router, we will discuss it. But router is again very important device, that means hardware device, which is to be dealt at this layer, and what are the other functions on particular layers. We will have a very deep and vast deliver of the lecture, and you please stay continue with us, and again do subscribe our channel also. The data link layer. Now at this particular layer, the data which was to be transmitted and received in form of the file, graph, certain picture, sound is not exactly been transmitted in that particular form. The data is ultimately get converted into the form of bit and byte. As I already told you in the first class, the data signal in the transmission media is propagated, is communicated in form of the bits, the form of the voltage level. Voltage level में either it is 0 or it is or 1. तो 0 1 की फॉर्म के अंदर जब डाटा हम भेजेंगे तो we are dealing with that. At the physical layer, there is a bit stream. Bit stream is 0 and form, 0 and 1 form data is being communicated, and this 0 1 form stream is called the Morse code. The Morse code, Morse is the name of the scientist which is giving you this particular idea. And when at the physical layer the data is being transmitted in form of bit, again those bit frame or those bit stream form a packet, form a group of that bit, and it is called frame. So over here at the physical layer it is called bitwise data, again the frame wise data, then routing, addressing, all such type of end-to-end communication at the transport layer. But at the routing, the algorithms and the addressing are handled at the networking layer, and the device where it is used, it is called router. That's why the routing is there. Then again the end-to-end connection is there. End-to-end connection, what are the devices used at that particular time? NIC card I already told you. And again there are the applications there where the different type of applications are handled. So this was a brief introduction, and we have already made a complete PowerPoint presentation. We will distribute in different classes, and then continuing with that, in the next class we will again have a overlook on this particular topic. So until then, wait for our next video. Till then, goodbye, and please subscribe our channel and share it to your friends also. Thank you.